Good morning guys, how are you feeling today? Are you ready for another big day here in Mexico City? Because today we are going to walk around the biggest park on the whole American continent. I'm talking about Chapultepec Park. To get to Chapultepec Park, we are going to walk along Paseo de la Reforma, a 15 kilometers long avenue. This promenade was ordered by Maximilian of Habsburg during the Second Mexican Empire to resemble the most famous promenades of Europe, like the one in Vienna or the Champs-Élysées in France. The idea behind it was to link the Chapultepec Castle, which at the time was the imperial residence, to the National Palace in the main square. Initially it was supposed to be called Paseo de la Emperatriz in honor of Empress Carlota, Maximilian's wife. But after the fall of the Mexican Empire and the execution of Maximilian, it was renamed in Paseo de la Reforma to celebrate a set of laws that have been implemented by the Mexican government during the 19th century, among which also a new constitution. Today is Sunday, and like every Sunday, this avenue is closed to traffic, and it's just for the cyclists and runners to enjoy from 8 AM until 2 PM. If you don't have a bike but you still want to enjoy your Sunday ride, it's very easy. There are these bikes here that you can rent. You just have to download this app, and you have here 1 day pass, 3 days pass, 7 days pass, annual pass. Of course the most convenient is the annual one, but the day pass is 122 pesos, or around $8. Once you select the pass, you scan the QR code and you're good to go with your bike and enjoy your ride. Here, if you leave your ID, you can rent a bicycle for free as well. Along Paseo de la Reforma there are a lot of statues, fountains and roundabouts. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of information about the most important ones. Let's stop right here. I want to show you this monument. This is the monument to Cuauhtémoc, the last independent Aztec emperor. Cuauhtémoc means the falling eagle, and before being elected as a Huaytlatoani, he was the chief of the Mexicas army. After expelling from Tenochtitlan the Spanish in what is known as the Sad Night in 1520, he reorganized the Aztec troops, but he could do nothing when a year later the Spanish came back with 100,000 indigenous allies. The story of Cuauhtémoc is very tragic. He was the cousin of Moctezuma II, and he was elected in 1520, 1 year after the arrival of the Spanish, when the situation of Tenochtitlan was already compromised. This bas-relief here on the side of the monument shows a very dramatic episode happened to Cuauhtémoc. There are the Spanish burning his feet in order to get some information about an hypothetical treasure hidden by the Aztecs. Cuauhtémoc has been held prisoner by Hernán Cortés for around 3 years before being executed in 1524. Since then, has been considered as a symbol of resilience and strength by the Mexicans. Around Paseo de la Reforma, the main financial hubs unfold, and it is also home of many famous skyscrapers, hotels and fancy restaurants. Nonetheless, it's a perfect place to stroll around. This is the Monument of the Independence, also called the Angel of the Independence, even though it's not actually an angel, it's a Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. Its construction began in 1902 during the presidency of Porfirio Diaz. The statue on top is not the original one, because the original one has been destroyed during the earthquake of the 28th of July 1957. The original head is still kept in the Historical Archive of Mexico City.
¿Le pongo chile o así solito? Limón, sal y chile. Joven, ¿qué le damos?
The entrance to the park is right next to this huge monument behind me called Estela de Luz. It's a monument that people here in Mexico City don't like too much because of the amount of public money invested in it, and it looks like a giant waffle. Around Mexico City there are a few areas in which you can smoke marijuana freely, and that one is one of them. Here we are, guys, welcome to Chapultepec Park. Just to give you an idea, this park is twice the size of Central Park in New York City. But what's the meaning of Chapultepec? Well, first of all, Chapultepec is a Nahuatl word, the language spoken by the Aztecs, which translates into the hill of the grasshopper. And yes, you guessed it, its history goes back to the Aztec period. It's right on this hill that the Aztecs built an astronomical observatory, and next to it a teocalli, a structure with the shape of a pyramid with a temple on top. Probably the most important thing for the Aztecs about this place were the freshwater springs all around the hill, because it was thanks to them that Tenochtitlan, their capital, was able to thrive in the middle of a salty lake. Just to underline how important this water was for the Aztecs, the only way Hernán Cortés had to defeat them was to destroy the aqueduct that used to bring the water from here to Tenochtitlan. This park is divided in 4 parts. We are going to visit today just the first one, which by the way is huge and full of things to do and see, and it's also the oldest one. Over there we are going to visit the Chapultepec Castle and the National Museum of Anthropology. We are going to start with the castle because it's going to close around 4 p.m, whilst the museum is going to close at 6. Right after the entrance, you'll end up here in front of the Monumento a los Niños Héroes. This monument is a tribute to the cadets of the military college who gave their lives to defend the castle of Chapultepec during the USA invasion of Mexico in 1847. 200 cadets and 632 soldiers defended the castle by the attack of 8,000 soldiers of the USA Army. 6 of those cadets who fell during the battle are considered heroes of the nation, even though there is no historical proof about the heroic actions of those 6 young soldiers. One of the most popular stops in the park is the Bath of Moctezuma, a series of pools probably used by the Aztec nobility. Even though there is no water left and their appearance changed a lot over the centuries, it's still a place worth visiting. Nearby you'll find the oldest tree in the park, whose origins are shrouded in legend. It's a 500 years old ahuehuete, a Nahuatl word meaning old water tree. It died in 1969 and today is the national tree of Mexico. It is thought that it was planted by Netzahualcoyotl, Tlatoani of Texcoco, by order of Moctezuma I. Also, look around the bottom of the rocky hill to find some ancient Aztec bas-relief, probably representing Moctezuma. It's Sunday and there are really thousands of people around the park. This is very touristy.
¡Hay agua refresco que le damos!
If you feel like trying grasshoppers on the hill of the grasshoppers, there are street vendors selling these chapulines. Around the park there are a few lakes. They are not natural, they are all artificial, and they have been built under the presidency of Porfirio Díaz once again. I'm going to buy the entry ticket for the castle, which is going to be 90 pesos. Okay, let's pay the ticket. Foreigners, 1. I have to pay as well to use the camera. So the total is 145 pesos. If you're from Mexico, the entrance is free on Sunday. Originally, this hill was a refuge for the Aztec emperors. The castle is colonial and has been used as a presidential residence until the 1940. Chapultepec Castle is one of the best museums of Mexico City. It's a place with a lot of history, also because it's been an imperial residence. The building itself is a masterpiece, and its permanent collections include paintings, documents, technology, clothes and furniture of different periods of the history of Mexico, dating back to the fall of Tenochtitlan until the Mexican Revolution. I suggest you visit it on weekdays because on the weekend it's packed. It's quite hot inside. Schedule at least 2 hours to visit the entire place because it's very big. The castle also offers unmatched views over the city. From here we have a beautiful view of the Paseo de la Reforma. We can also see the Angel of the Independence. Time to keep moving. Let's get to the Anthropological Museum, the most visited museum in Mexico City. The Anthropology Museum is the most visited museum in Mexico, and for this reason is a place you don't have to skip. There's the Museum of Anthropology. As you can see, there's a bit of a queue. Wow, this place is huge. On the ground floor you'll find 8 enormous rooms hosting the archaeological finds of the major Mesoamerican civilizations. We are going to start with Teotihuacan. Until the 8th century AD, Teotihuacan was the most powerful city in Mesoamerica, but I won't talk about it today because we are going to visit Teotihuacan in one of my next videos, so I strongly recommend you to stay tuned. Inside this first exposition room you can find a replica of a section of the Pyramid of the Sun, along with other original statues, tools and murals. Other interesting things are these round carved stones used for the ball game. Can you imagine how hard it was to put the ball inside this hole with your hip? I know it sounded a little bit weird, but I hope you got what I meant. But the true masterpiece of the museum is the Aztec calendar, a gigantic monolith found in 1790 digging in a corner of the Zócalo of Mexico City. The calendar consists in a 365-day calendar cycle and 260-day ritual cycle. These two cycles together form a 52-year century. Here you can also see how the old ceremonial precinct of Tenochtitlan used to look like. If you want to walk through all the 8 exposition rooms at a normal pace, I suggest you spend at least 3 hours in the museum. The last floor of the museum is a colorful journey through the popular traditions of Mexico, some of which are unfortunately slowly disappearing. Guys, this is the end of our Sunday stroll. I loved it. I really hope you enjoyed it as well. I'm going to leave you with some Aztec dance. I'll see you in the next video from Mexico City. Bye guys. And also the Voladores de Papantla. We couldn't finish better than this.